So looking down at ZRO in terms of how we would chart this, so we would go up onto here, onto the monthly, and we look for where we have candle closes that are next to each other. So we would look at there, we would press Alt H, we would go here and we would press Alt H. We would go to here and Alt H, and to here and Alt H. We will go to the top here, Alt H, and we will turn that green and write all-time high. And we would go down to the bottom, click there, Alt H, and we would turn that red and click 80L for all-time low. So looking at this, we have some monthly levels lined up. So I would click on here and type in monthly. Same here, I would type in monthly, and here I would also type in monthly, and finally this one here we would type in monthly. Then we would move down the time frames. So if I click on the weekly, we can see that where these monthly levels lined up. So these two are a little bit close, so I would look at moving this one down to cover that, and this one potentially move up to cover that, and then looking at this one, this seems to be a pretty good level. We've got that there, so I would click Alt H, I would turn that white, and I would put weekly. And down here we can see we're currently sitting on quite a strong weekly level with a weekly level below at 106 and quite a nice weekly level there. So I'll click that. I would type in weekly, and weekly. This monthly level I would move up slightly to encapsulate that, and you can see we capture quite a lot of candles in that. So from a weekly perspective, this is what we would be looking at. So if I go down onto a daily perspective, right click out, we can see just where these ranges were. So we can see that once it gained this monthly level, we shot up to here, and we can see we're ranging in the levels here. So I would say from a daily perspective, this is an interesting one. So you've got a daily level below here. So I think looking at where you would look for price to go, you would want to see it hold this weekly level. If it falls below, you're potentially looking at anything in this region. So what I would do is, and you can see quite a lot of volume in this area here, so I would just get a box and I would draw that box up there, and that looks like a pretty good that looks like a pretty interesting place where if you were to buy, you could buy there. And you can see we've had these really sharp drop off. So if I would click on here and go on FRVP, so where is the volume on this ticker? So what price levels do we see quite a lot of volume? So if I draw that out, we can see this is quite a strong volume level. So I would go on here, I would press Alt H, and I would turn that purple. So we've got a volume level there. We've got one here. There's a little bit of a volume spike there. You can see that's an interesting point. And then right at the top here we can see that there's an interesting point there. Further down you could potentially have that as a spot. So if we get rid of this, so we can see from a chart perspective, key point you'd be looking at, I think, for this is for ZRO is you'd want to see a solid hold of this weekly level, a push into this volume, and then your first potential target would be here at $2.25. After that, you'd want to see it gain this weekly level at 2.4, then up, and the real one to clinch is this monthly level. If it holds this monthly level, you've had so much price action here that I think you would you may quite quickly move up to this level here, and then from here, upside targets are $3.90, $4.50, $5.20, $6, and then all the way up to potentially $7.5. So if we were to map this out on a price range, so from this level here, so that purple line is a 22% move, 30% to gain the level. The next level up is about 50%. This top level you're looking at about sort of 75%. Clear off this liquidity wick is 100%. 120 for this area, and then if you move all the way up through here and you're looking at sort of $5, that's 190% move, and then from the sweep back to all-time high is about 317. So you'd be looking at a 3x on that one. It's a ticker I really like, not financial advice, but a lot of people I also know are very bullish on this. I think the key thing short term that you'd be looking at is holding this. Potential trade ideas would be on support of on a hold of this, and this breakthrough, this volume area here, is you'd look at sort of a position up to 2.23, and then maybe clear up to 2.24. Is how I'd look at it, but overall quite bullish. If we look on the weekly on the high time frame, you can see it's below exchange listing price, but we're seeing quite a nice consolidation. You've got a little bit of cover from this all-time low down at $1.49. So yeah, so plenty of risk reward in this play.